Hello, Ethan here, and I recently watched Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2.1 in the movie theaters. So I never got to watch 1 and 2 in the theaters because I was born in 2002 and Spider-Man 1, directed by Sam Raimi, had just came out in 2002, so I was a little too young to experience it. I got to experience 3 because it was in 2007 and I was maybe around 5 or 6 at the time. And I still to this day remember the experience of being in that theater and watching this third installment in the Spider-Man trilogy. I remember distinctly watching Spider-Man 3 in the movie theater when I was around 6 years old and the impact it kind of had on me. So I didn't go watch it in the theater when it re-released this year of 2025. I have a distinct memory of coming out the theater as a child and just doing like the little like finger guns at people, like walking out of the theater, because I thought that Peter Parker, who's played by Tobey Maguire, was like the coolest thing ever when he was doing that. But as me being an adult now, it's very funny. It's very funny. So I was able to go watch 1 and I showed up around maybe like 10 minutes late. I missed like the beginning credits, but I made it just in time to see the first beginning of the movie. I have my movie ticket right here, which whenever I went and watched Spider-Man 3, it was at a local theater that I used to go to, and the tickets were about $7, and now they're like 14, which is kind of crazy. But the movie itself, watching it in the movie theater is way different from watching it at home on like the DVD versions or like the VHS tapes that I have, because you're in like this theater with like surround sound, right? And the audio just sounds more crisp. The movie was shot on film, so they preserved the film, and the movie is just so colorful. I mean, of course it was shot in 2002, and it was like, you know, it's the early 2000s. A lot of movies still looked colorful during that time, but this movie was colorful, just full of color. And I think this movie still holds up to this day. Some stuff like CGI is outdated, but it's still a very good movie. You can still walk out of the theater and be like, wow, that was a great movie. And when I just think that superhero movies were better at that point because they just started kind of taking them seriously and they wanted people to start watching them. And Spider-Man was a big hit during the time. There was like toys, like t-shirts, commercials, like he was on cereal boxes. I think it was like a Pop-Tart box. It was like Spider-Man Pop-Tarts. I didn't get to try them. Now, speaking of the experience, when you're watching it at home, you know, you just get like the TV, like audio, and it's like one direction. But in the theater, I can distinctively remember this one scene where, you know, the Goblin is talking to Norman and Norman's figuring out like who's talking to him, and it starts like paneling towards different masks in the mansion. And the difference between this one was that in the theater, the sound would be in like your right ear, then it would be behind you, then like your left ear. It would like go around the entire room. And it was just a different experience. It's a way different experience. And like, cause you feel like you're actually in that room when you watch this movie in the theater. It's just totally different. I'm glad that I got to experience watching this movie. I am a huge Sam Raimi fan. Sam Raimi is my favorite director, and he has inspired me in my way that I do filmmaking. Now, on to Spider-Man 2.1. I've seen 2 maybe 50 times in my life. I kind of like religiously watch these movies because they are like my favorite superhero movies. And I like the way that Raimi like his style, his like the way I like his production style. He is a person that he likes practical stuff. He likes doing everything practical because, you know, doing things practical gives your actors and everyone on set kind of this feeling of like, hey, this is actually right here. I know that most times they'll like put like a tennis ball on a stick behind a green screen, but I find that the best way is to give your actors an actual object, like actually make like they would make the sets. They would make the sets and the props, so the actors could actually see them. Like in Spider-Man 2.1, before the movie starts, they have this behind the scenes that you can watch on like the DVD disc. It's like disc 2, and it's with Alfred Molina, and they're going over how they were designing the Dr. Octopus costume and how, you know, the mechanical arms are puppeteered. They're actual puppets. They made them. They're real. And if I remember correctly, on the DVD disc 2, they state that each arm has a name, and like they want to give it like a personality. But talking about the experience in the theater, I never watched 2.1. I have the DVD, but I never got around to watching it. But this is my first time watching 2.1 in theaters. I don't know if they released 2.1 before in the theaters, or if it's their first time doing it, because it's been over 20 something years. Yeah, this was amazing to watch in the theater. The quality of the film looks great. 2 is definitely better than the first one, but you can't have 2 being better than the first one without the first movie, because it builds up upon it. But everything that 1 does good, 2 does it better. Now 2.1, in terms of comparison to just 2, I think 2.1 is slightly better than 2, because it adds more scenes with MJ and like her current relationship. It has more action scenes between, you know, Spider-Man and Dr. Octopus that audiences did not get to see in 2004. Now watching this movie in 2025, it's still a fantastic film. I think it's still the best superhero film ever made. I walked out the theater and I felt very inspired. It made me remember why I want to pursue filmmaking, because my goal is to be a filmmaker. It's to, you know, work at like a production studio, like film production studio, direct something. I love filmmaking. I love the production side of it. I like the story, the writing board side. I like writing and I like film production. That's my main goal in life, is to accomplish doing something in that field. Now, Spider-Man 2.1, it's the same thing. You know, audio is a lot crisp, and the quality of it is way different from watching at home on VHS or, you know, DVD. But I really enjoyed being able to experience these movies in the theater. Now, the theater I went to, you know, it was like kind of like a fancy theater. They had like these recliner seats where you kick stand up and you lay your feet on it, and you know, they had like a little desk where you can like eat food on it. I didn't have time to eat food. I got there last minute and just made it in time to see the commercials, the advertisements before they started the movie. Honestly, this movie still holds up. The experience, you know, I was fortunate enough to be in a theater full of people that I believe were also like diehard fans of these films, because they weren't talking. They were completely silent. Most films I go watch now, like newer films, people are on their phones or they're talking in the theater, and it just kind of ruins the experience because you're distracted or you have someone's light blaring you from the person sitting in front of you. But no, everyone was totally respectful. And, you know, just being how a movie theater should be. Sitting down and then turn your phone off, be quiet, and watch the movie. And everyone did that. And, you know, that was another thing about the experience, is my biggest fear was to go in there and everyone be loud, making jokes. But no, everyone was watching the movie like it was the first time, and they were just kind of soaking it in. You know, it was very nice to sit with a bunch of people in a theater where they were treating it with respect. Because one of my biggest pet peeves in life is going to movie theaters, watching a movie, and then everyone's talking, or they're making jokes, or they're the light from their phones on. But no, I went to the theater, watched Spider-Man 2.1, and yeah, it was great. It was fantastic. Walked out that theater, and I was glad to be able to experience this, especially at my age, because I'm 23 now. The first movie came out when I was like a couple months after I was born. So I kind of grew up with these films, and every time I watch them, I get more of a better appreciation for them. But anyways, that is kind of my review, the differences between watching at home, audio, visuals, everything, just, the experience itself is something that I will never forget. Yeah, that's it. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. I also have short films that you can watch. Don't feel pressure to, although I would appreciate it. And I hope to make more commentary videos like this. Mainly I want to start making film production commentaries, and just maybe experience commentaries where my experience in working on sets or working on current projects. Anyways, that's it for today, and thank you for watching.